My name is Bibek Adhikari. I am your English instructor. In today's class, we are going to solve the writing portion of Unit 7, that is, writing a condolence. So, let's begin. Alright, we are now going to start the writing portion of Unit 7, which is writing a condolence notice. Do you know that condolence notice is often called obituary? So, obituary is another word that is used for condolence notice. Whenever we are writing about a condolence notice in newspapers, it is generally referred to as writing an obituary. So what is an obituary? An obituary is a notice that announces the death of someone with a description of the person's life and list of family members. An obituary is a notice. So what is it? It is a notice that announces the death of someone with a description of a person's life and about his qualities, inherent qualities, with a list of family members in the end. So that is an obituary. And in this class, we are going to learn how to write a nice obituary. So what to write in newspaper obituaries, death notices, and funeral obituaries, those things we'll learn in this class. Writing a death notice. Writing a death notice for a newspaper. Writing a death notice for a newspaper. So that is another topic that we will discuss today. Our newspaper obituary is often called our death notice. What is it called? It is often called our death notice. And why is it called death notice? That is my another question. Why is it called death notice? It is called death notice because simply it announces that the person has passed away and gives funeral information. Right? So that is the purpose of writing newspaper obituary, announcing that someone is dead and also sometimes giving information about funeral. So before you begin to write, what you need to do is you need to contact the newspaper to find out the length, restrictions and cost, but that is altogether a different thing. That is very technical thing for you. You are in grade 8, right? So that seems a bit demanding, a bit technical. We are not going to cover the technical aspect. I'm not going to teach you how to approach a newspaper and how to find about the costing and stuff like that in this class. But rather I'm going to help you with the writing portion. I want you to learn how to write a nice, short, little death notice. That's my purpose. So here are some key points that one needs to follow while writing death obituary, right? While writing death or death notice. So first you need to write the full name of the deceased. Then you need to write the city where he or she resided. Then you need to write about surviving family. You then need to write about date, time, and address of memorial service. Then you need to write about date, time, and address of burial or maybe cremation, we don't know. Burial or cremation service, right? You also need to write something like memorial contributions to be made in lieu of flowers to something like this. And finally, you need to provide a photo if there's room. If there's enough room in the newspaper obituary column, it's good if you provide, it's good if you provide some room for the photo. And not only this, you need to do something else too. And what is that? Because death notice is still incomplete without writing something about the person. So you need to write about extra, very significant things, like you need to honor the deceased, and you need to say something as final farewell remarks. Correct? So it's a way for people to find out about the deceased accomplishments and family ties. The focus should be on the positive aspects of personal life. So say something positive, say something nice. Don't say the person was very negative, and positive stuff. So write about all the positive stuffs of the person's life. Any negative aspect should be put in the best possible light, or oftentimes omitted. So never write. So it's not good to write negative things about a dead person, right? So even if the person was very bad, maybe he was an alcoholic, maybe he was a drug abuser, or maybe he was a murderer or something like that. In the end, in death column, we are going to say nice stuff. Oh, he was a man with a heart of gold. He was so great. He used to buy beer for us, and he was so funny with his nice little jokes and all that stuff. So you need to write about positive things. You need to write about positive aspects of that person. So honor the deceased and say something as a final farewell remarks. Say farewell in a sweet way. Right? So these are the key points: full name, city, surviving family, date, time, address of memorial service, date, time, and address of burial or cremation if he or she is Christian, going to be buried, otherwise cremated. So write about that. Finally, include some details about memorial services, photo if there's room, but if you put photo, it's going to be good. Correct. Now let's see some examples. So here is a sample obituary that you often see in newspapers, right? So the title could be Heartfelt Condolence, or it could be Obituary, or it could be Deepest Sympathies, or like that, Deep Condolences. So you can either write Heartfelt Condolence or Deep Condolence, or you can write Deepest Sympathies, or even you can also write Obituary, simply Obituary. Then you need to write the date of birth on the left hand side, and on the right hand side you need to write about death. So birth on left hand side, death on right hand side. You can even draw some flowers, right? If you're good at drawing, so surely draw some flowers. I'm not so good at drawing, as you can see from the photo I made. So you can also draw some candles here. Candle lights are burning. If you're very artistic, you should draw some candles and draw some flowers. So imagining that this is a flower, yellow flower. So you've got to draw something like that. And here you need to draw a picture. So this is late Pranaya Raza, as you can see in the photo. Looks pretty good to me. Alright, jokes apart, then you need to write extend few deepest condolences and sympathies. You could begin like we extend our deepest sympathy and heartfelt condolences to our dear friend Mr. Binay Raza and his family on the sad demise of his father Pranaya Raza. We pray to God for the departed soul to rest in peace. Staff, Himal Foods and Beverage Corporation, Baful. So that is how the newspaper condolence ends. Now, a few questions. What is the text about? Well, it is about the notice of condolence that we often see in the newspaper. Another question is, where do people find this type of text? Of course, in newspapers. Why do people write this type of text? Because they want to express their heartfelt condolences, their grievances, and all that, by extending, by writing this. So that's why people want to write condolences. That's why people often write condolences. in newspapers. I believe you can do this. Can't you do this? It's pretty easy. All you have to do is write a condolence. That's all. It's nothing so difficult about it. And there's a rule, you know. Let me give you some more tips on how to write a good condolence, because condolences, they need to be sweet and short, and there should not be any unnecessary use of phrasings, right? I'll write some tips, and then I'm going to give you a homework. Tips. So let me give you some tips. Tip number 1, keep it short and simple. Keep it short and simple. Another tip, not more than 100 words. So usually the word range that we find is around 50 to 100 words, but do not write more than 100 words. No negative things about the dead person. Come on, a dead person is already dead. Why do you have to be so negative about him? Nepali society is so negative. We are always busy talking about the negative stuffs of a person. We always, focus on the negative things. We are cynics in a way. We are pessimistic, We always see the darker side of life. We always try to find cracks in mirror. We always talk negative. So why do we have to talk such negative stuffs about a dead person? Come on, a dead person is dead anyway. It did for good. Then that doesn't mean you are going to write all very sugary stuff. Not much sugary or flowery stuff. So don't be too sweet. Don't be too flowery. Do not use a lot of adjectives. Do not use a lot of adverbs. You always used to smile nicely, and God, that is the worst sentence I've ever said. So keep it short and simple, not more than 100 words, 50 to 100. No negative things about the dead person, and not much of sugary or flowery stuff. That means use as less adjectives as you can, and less adverbs too. Right? Some tips. Now comes the homework section. Your homework is going to be, imagine that one of the well-wishers of your school has recently passed away. Write an obituary to be published in one of the national dailies. So that's your homework. What you need to do, you need to imagine. Imagine, you don't need to kill someone. Imagine that one of the well-wishers of your school has recently passed away. Write an obituary to be published in one of the national dailies. So I just taught you, about how to write an obituary. I also gave you some tips. I also gave you some writing advices. So I think you can do this. You're good to go. Can you do this? Sure you can, right? So that is your homework. With this, we have come to end of today's class. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding this video series, feel free to write us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thank you.